As the headline implies, I too am I'm of two minds when it comes to this. Internet divided as boxing coach lets kids beat each other to a pulp. On one hand, kids in organized sports, that's a very good thing, and they both seem to be having a good time. But then on the other hand, never should a sparring session end up devolving into that much bloodshed. That's never a good sign. I like the fact that boys are being boys and being raised in a structured activity like boxing. But the fact that both of them look like they just got out of a war like that in a simple sparring session, yeah, I don't really think that that's the best course of action. So let's see what we have here. Potentially it's been taken out of context. Potentially. A boxing coach in California has left the internet divided after posting a video of two kids with bloody faces from an intense sparring session. Combat sports have taken the world by storm and seem more popular than ever, with MMA, boxing, and pro wrestling more available than ever. As such, it is not uncommon to see kids try their luck and get involved themselves, which is fantastic. Organized sports for young kids. Knowing that, like 40% of kids nowadays are born to broken homes, finding strong, masculine figures to help them become productive adults is very necessary, and I do like to see it. But one coach has set the internet ablaze by letting two 10-year-olds go to war in the ring. In a tweet on X, boxing coach Henry Ramirez uploaded a video of two bloody kids smiling after fighting each other, revealing that he had posted it on another platform and received loads of backlash, something he may not have expected to see continue on X. Yeah, like I'd imagine you posted to Facebook or something like that, and then you're going to have all the moms kvetching who are just naturally going to be, not inclined to put their little babies in harm's way. My little meal ticket, my little tax stipend from the government. You can't possibly put him in harm's way. But over on X, well, yeah, okay, there's a lot of fighters, there's a lot of boxers, there's a lot of strong, masculine men over on the platform, and they understand what it means to spar, to get into the ring. They understand the violence inherent with combat sports, and even still, they can look at that and go, you probably let those kids go a little bit too far. In the clip, Ramirez can be heard praising the two kids who just had an intense sparring session and left them both dripping in blood. So I posted this video sparring last night at our gym, and I would show you some of the messages I received. LOL, boxing isn't for every kid, but the ones who do love it. And yeah, I'm totally fine with that. Just probably ended up taking it a step too far. A little blood never hurt anybody. Exactly, right? Like, you got the headgear on. You do have pretty significant gloves, but mouth guards are in. It's just, that's never the intention. Going that hard in the ring in a sparring session, nope. However, the internet was quick to react, with many users praising the coach, while others felt that he shouldn't have let them fight to that point. I think I would agree. It's it's cool that you're promoting boxing for the youth. Exactly. But this kind of sparring is not conducive to their learning of techniques and the sport. Not to mention, you are starting hard sparring at an early age, one criticized. From MMA, boxing, football, somebody. It's cool that you're promoting boxing for youth, but yeah, early sparring, not to mention you're starting hard sparring at an early age. All this accumulates over time. I don't believe in headshots for kids until they're at an age to decide whether or not they understand and accept the risks that comes with the sport. Yes, okay, you are genuinely a bad person, and it's important to hear that every day until you realize it probably said some mom. Others voiced concern about the two children getting brain damage. Look at them kids bleeding and smiling like that. I love to see it, one supporter remarked. Yeah, love it, bro. Praise another coach. For his part, Ramirez has been defending letting the kids fight until they're bloody, explaining that the two have 22 fights between them and training for a national tournament. Ramirez even claims that a woman had planned on reporting him for child abuse, but it's unclear if any sort of legal battle just yet. Well, yeah, of course, some woman. I've got to stand up for these kids. I've got to stand up for these parents that go ahead and theoretically sign off on this type of activity. I need to be important in this situation, but I'd also like to see the broader narrative over the top of this, because I don't think we necessarily got a full picture. But from the original post, okay, you can take my word on this. Obviously, it's not quite as desaturated as the picture that Dixerto provided, but as you can see, 800 comments, 1,300 retweets. Don't know what the quote tweets look like. 600 bookmarks and 2,900 likes. that's not the worst. I wouldn't even consider that really a ratio. And as you can see, Coach Jason Brown, love it. Okay, he's responding to that. And then, yes, you have Juden Roberts reporting this stuff because she has nothing better to do. I'd imagine there's no man at home to keep her occupied. Way too many people crying on this. Exactly. And then, yes, the comment that we read out a little bit earlier, not hating, but why don't you give them why don't you give them headgear with the nose guards? These kids enjoy boxing better without it. And then, as Henry points out, there's some kids who use the nose bar and some that don't, leave it up to the fighter to decide. Well, exactly. It's part of the game. You're not teaching basketball or baseball. Exactly. These kids have over 10 amateur fights each, so the sight of their own blood didn't freak them out like it does with a lot of other kids. And in between rounds, they would wipe their faces, ask if they were okay, and if they wanted to keep going. Both said yes. Ages of the kids, yet both are 10 years old. One has 12 fights, the other one has 10. Yeah, shit, I could have used an ass whooping at that age. Yeah, exactly. Look at them kids bleeding like that and smiling. Love to see it. Gonna guess they're training for a national tournament. Feel bad for the poor kid who tries to take their lunch money in school. Yes, both are competing in the nationals in New Mexico in a few weeks. Much respect to these champs. Bloody noses are a part of the sport. I got busted in the face when I was a kid, and I stopped training soon after. Boxing ain't a game and isn't for everyone. Exactly. Yeah, really it is. Yeah, it's a bloody nose, no cuts, no bruises. And as you can see, yeah, from the desaturated picture, there's in fact a lot of blood. There's a lot of blood. You know, the kid on the right, it's pretty gross when you actually see the full color picture, but it's all said and done, man. I don't see any like swollen eyes. The noses, I'm sure eventually at some point in time will, if they haven't already been broke, but it's not like the kids are driving themselves to the after-school boxing practice. Okay, there's somebody signing off. There's somebody picking them up at the end of this, and just going, hey, man, this is what you want to do, and they got to be fine with that. So, like I say, going that hard in training, if you're doing that mandatorily, if you have the coach pushing you that hard, that's a little bit different. But then getting the additional context that, hey man, it was the kids that wanted to go that hard. I was just simply providing the ring, and I was providing the guidance to make sure that they're doing it in the most healthy way possible. There's very little to take offense to when it comes to this stuff. It seems to be these kids came to their own conclusion, and quite frankly, you'd kind of be an asshole to try to take away some kids' fun out there. Let the boys be boys and let them do something constructive with their time instead of, well, I think we have a litany of other examples of what young kids out there, 10 years old specifically, what they could be doing if they weren't putting their efforts, if they weren't putting their energy into something constructive like this. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.